Hello everyone, today we're going to be covering a variety of things from the hockey world. Now before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel and you want to see more hockey content like this. Now, let's kick off with the video. And a main thing I think we all focused on last night was Jack Eichel's return to Buffalo after he was traded from the Vegas Golden Knights. The atmosphere last night was really good compared to what it's been this season for Sabres games. There was reportedly 12,437 people in attendance for that game. And as many of you know, the Sabres won 3-1. And really though, what happened after the game is what garnered even more attention than the game, which seemed crazy because the atmosphere was, like I said, amazing. What happened was afterwards, Eichel in an interview said, quote, "Yeah, it's about the loudest I've heard this building ever. Really, it only took 7 years and me leaving to get into the game. They must be booing me because they wish I was still here," end quote. And while I definitely have said before I feel bad about what happened to Eichel and how things didn't go very well in his departure, I think this right here is him not doing himself, his team, and the fans any favors. I know later he would go on in that interview to acknowledge there were some people that cheered for him during his return, but he's smart enough to know at this point he is a NHL superstar. He is a top 10 guy at his position easily, and he is a very good player just in general. He's a veteran of the league. He knows that the media is going to take any part of this and put it out of context, and I think at some point it really was kind of like, abrasive. It was, why would you even say that? But yeah, I think that, in my opinion, he would have been better just to keep his response in check, to keep it more media-friendly so they couldn't run with it, especially considering, A, you just lost the game to the team that, you were traded from, and pieces from that trade, had an outcome in that game. Krebs had a goal. Alex Tuck had the game-winning empty net goal, and, your team hasn't won a lot lately, so I don't get it, and I kind of get why people were dogging on him. But I did hate it in the sense that, afterwards, it just took away from the fact that goalie Chris Anderson won his 300th NHL game from that. He was the guy in net for Buffalo, and he took away the win, which was awesome because he is an American goalie, which now makes him just the 6th all-time for the NHL, or in the NHL history, to have 300 career wins by a U.S. netminder, and he becomes just the 39th goalie in NHL history to reach that milestone as well. And he's actually just 2 wins away from tying the New York Rangers goalie. I don't know if I'd say legend. I mean, he did win a cup, but passing Mike Richter for 5th all-time for wins by a U.S. goalie. So that is also really cool. So congrats, Craig. I know that kind of got brushed under the rug, but I did want to talk about that because it was an achievement. And now back to the drama. You are hearing about the Colorado Avalanche captain, Gabriel Landeskog, getting in trouble last night, and that was towards the end of the Avs-Canes game, and I really think this was more amusing than anything. I don't think there's anything crazy to take away from this, other than the fact that Landeskog apparently told one of the refs that the ref had a bad night, and it was, him going on later to say that he hurt the ref's feelings, and I think kind of a sarcastic way, and after that, he talked about his displeasure with the officiating towards the end there, and it just had me cracking up. And realistically, I think some of that frustration might come down to not even necessarily the calls. I didn't watch that game. I was focused on some other games last night. But I think that a big thing here is you have a very good matchup, Carolina, Colorado, and you would like to, if you're Colorado, I think they've lost 4 of their past 5, win that game and get closer, because Carolina, I think, has the 2nd best overall record in the league in terms of points percentage, all that good stuff. And I think that was just kind of a tough loss for Colorado. But yeah, it was funny. It was amusing. I had to bring it up because he said he hurt the ref's feelings, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure fines are coming because that's what happens in professional sports now. You're not allowed to say anything that's mildly entertaining at all like that because you're just going to get fined. But yeah, finally, the last thing in this video is about some signings. The 2 signings that I wanted to cover just real quick here. The first is the Flyers making a really dumbfounding decision to give defenseman Rasmus Ristolainen a 5-year, $25.5 million extension. Not going to dive too much into this. He was traded, and I was a little on the fence about this trade, thinking maybe if he gets paired with the right guy. I didn't like the fact that Philly gave up so much to get him, or a first rounder. I mean, he is 27 years old, pushing 28. But yeah, I'm not going to say too much other than the fact that Risto has 14 points in 50 games played. And if you know me, you know that I usually use way more stuff than just points in games played to point something out, but I'm not even going to waste my time or your time. Not that I'm saying Risto's a bad guy, but I think that for Philly, they've made some really odd decisions lately, and they are a team that I am going to be shying away from of giving any hopes at all for next year in my previews with the way things are going. The other extension being Dallas, today giving Joe Pavelski, the veteran, a 1-year, $5.5 million extension. And at this point, if you've been around the channel, you also know that I hate deals that are overpays and that go way too long, farther than they should. But I have to say that I am a really big fan of this deal because A, it won't cripple the team from years on out. It's just a 1-year extension. And B, I think this is really fair with what you've been getting from him. I was skeptical to see what he had left in the tank once he headed over to Dallas, but he has shown that he is still a very good, valuable player. And yeah, he might not be in the prime like he was in his career, but he's still a very, very valuable piece to a team that is looking to make the playoffs, and I think that this was good, and I like it. So that's all for today's video. Is there any other news that you would like to talk about that is hockey related? And it could be this or, something that wasn't from this video. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I apologize if there was weird noises. My dog has been hanging out with me while I've been doing these videos as of late. He's a heavy breather. But yeah, everybody stay safe. Have a great night. You go love hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.